Dear shareholders, good evening. Welcome to the 27th Annual General Meeting of InfoEdge India Limited, being held through video conferencing mode or other audiovisual facility as per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, SEBI, Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirements, Regulations 2015, and various other circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Securities and Exchange Board of India. For the smooth conduct of the meeting, the members will be in the mute mode by default to avoid noise and disturbance during the proceedings of this meeting. Audio and video will be open only for the pre-registered speakers to speak at the AGM as per the pre-registration. I now hand over to Ms. Jaya Bhatia, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer of InfoEdge India Limited. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lizanne. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Jaya Bhatia, Company Secretary of your company, participating from Noida, convey on behalf of members present at this meeting my warm greetings and welcome Mr. Kapil Kapoor, Chairman and other respected members of Board of Directors of the company. I request Mr. Kapil Kapoor, the Chairman of the company and Chairman of the Stakeholders Relationship Committee, to kindly commence the proceedings of the meeting by addressing the dignified virtual gathering on behalf of the board. I request you all to please welcome Mr. Kapil Kapoor, who is presiding over this meeting from New Delhi.
Thank you, Jaya. A very good evening, dear shareholders, my fellow board members, and other stakeholders and dignitaries present in the meeting. I welcome you all to the 27th Annual General Meeting of the company. I hope that you, along with your family members and loved ones, are keeping safe and staying healthy. We are once again meeting in a virtual mode as the world travels a challenging journey. It is heartening that India has responded to the pandemic with commendable resilience. Thankfully, we are now greatly sheltered due to successful vaccination drive by the government, that normal activity has resumed in almost every corner of the society. In view of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and pursuant to the circulars issued by the MCA and SEBI, the annual general meeting is being held through video conferencing and other audiovisual means facility provided by the National Securities Depository Limited. The company has made all efforts feasible under the current circumstances to enable the members to participate in the meeting through the video conferencing facility and to vote on the resolution set forth in the notice electronically. Pursuant to the MCA circular of 8 April 2020, issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the facility to appoint proxy to attend and cast vote for the members is not available for this AGM. However, the body corporates are entitled to appoint authorized representatives to attend the AGM through video conferencing and participate and cast their votes through e-voting. The proceedings of this AGM shall be deemed to have been conducted at the registered office of the company. The live streaming of this AGM is being webcast on NSDL's website. It is my pleasure now to introduce the members of the board present at this meeting to you all. First, Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani. He is the promoter, whole-time director, and executive vice chairman of the company and is attending the AGM from Noida. Second, Mr. Hitesh Oberoi is the co-promoter, managing director, and chief executive officer. He is attending the AGM from Noida. Mr. Saurabh Srivastav is an independent director, chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee and Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. Mr. Srivastav is one of India's leading IT entrepreneurs, angel investors, and venture capitalists. He is attending the AGM from New Delhi. Ms. Geeta Mathur is an independent director of the company and the chairperson of the audit committee. Ms. Mathur is an experienced finance professional, having worked as a banker both on the asset side and risk side, and also in large corporate treasury, investor relations, and risk management. She is attending the AGM from New Delhi. Dr. Naresh Gupta is an independent director of the company. Dr. Gupta is widely regarded as a computer science expert in the areas of shape, motion, image understanding, and AI research. He is attending the AGM from Noida. Mr. Sharad Malik is an independent director of the company. Currently, Mr. Malik is the George Van Ness Lothrop Professor of Engineering at Princeton University and the Chair of the Department of Electrical Engineering. He is attending the AGM from the USA. Mr. Ashish Gupta is an independent director. Mr. Gupta is a partner at Helion Ventures Partners, investing in early stage companies in India and in the US. He's attending the AGM from USA. Mr. Chintan Thakkar is the whole-time director and chief financial officer of the company. Mr. Thakkar is a chartered accountant by profession and has more than 3 decades of experience in finance, consulting, and operations. He's attending the AGM from Noida. Ms. Bala Deshpande, non-executive director of the company, is not attending the meeting due to prior commitments and has sought leave of absence. Ms. Deshpande is a senior managing partner at Mega Delta Capital Advisors and has nearly 2 decades of experience in investment advisory. In compliance with the requirements of the secretarial standards on general meetings, the representative of the statutory auditors and the secretarial auditors are also present in the meeting through video conferencing. We have other key executives of the company attending the meeting. Jaya, can I now request you to confirm the quorum for the meeting?
Sir, at present we have 102 members participating through video conferencing as per the records of registrar and transfer agent, and on the confirmation from the host of the meeting, the requisite quorum is present and the meeting is duly constituted.
Excellent. Dear shareholders, as we have the requisite quorum present through video conferencing to conduct the proceedings of this meeting, and participation of members through video conferencing is reckoned for purpose of quorum as per the circulars issued by MCA and SEBI and Section 103 of the Companies Act 2013, I now call the meeting to order. Dear shareholders, I welcome you to the 27th Annual General Meeting of the company. Today, the scourge of COVID virus is firmly behind us. While new strains continue to evolve that affect different populations across the world, global medical science has risen to the situation, and today there is much less impact on human lives. People have returned to the streets, workplaces have commenced, education institutes have seen students back in classes, shopping centers have witnessed renewed footfalls, and life has returned to almost the pre-COVID normal for most of the world. However, the long periods of lockdowns and virtual commercial standstill has had an indelible impact on global economic activities. In 2022, the Ukraine-Russia war has created another round of uncertainty, especially in global energy trade and movement of materials across oceans. While the conflict has lasted longer than earlier envisaged, one is witnessing some early signs of normalcy in the region, with some civilian freighters starting to operate in the region. However, in the aftermath of the COVID-related issues, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has added to economic woes across several regions. Many global economies are witnessing some levels of slowdown with rising inflation. This has prompted an increase in interest rates across the board, which will impact future investments. Against this backdrop, the United Nations in June 2022, projected that the world economy will grow by only 3% in 2022 and 2023, which is a downward revision of 0.9 and 0.4 percentage points, respectively, from their previous forecasts released in January 2022. Amidst the slight downbeat global economic conditions, the news in India is fairly encouraging. The economy bounced back from a 7% degrowth seen in the largely COVID-affected financial year 2022 to record a 9% growth in the financial year 2022, and the Economic Survey 2022 estimates that the projected GDP growth for the financial year 2023 will be in the region of 8 to 9%. Coupled with the strong growth expectations, it's important to note that relative to several other large global economies, risk associated with India's economy is much lower. As per a survey conducted by Bloomberg in June 2022, while Asia's recession risk stands at 20 to 25% compared to 45% for the US and 50 to 55% for the European Union, India's recession risk is zero. The rank analysis of the international economic resilience, which is based on five leading macroeconomic indicators, also shares a good story for India. For each of the years from 2019 to 2022, India has displayed continuously improving macroeconomic endurance and is projected to be ranked behind Germany and Canada. So we have a strong domestic economy that needs to be effectively leveraged to grow our core business. At this juncture, it is important to highlight another global phenomenon. For the last 20 years, Western companies have invested in China, drawn in by their low production costs and enormous domestic consumer markets. This has created an overexposure of risk concentrated on China for several large corporate entities. Of late, there has been a focus on creating more resilient global supply chains that include steps to counter the China-centric supply chain dependencies and vulnerabilities. This is referred to as the China Plus One strategy, where this is now a focus on de-risking from the concentration on global supplies from China. India, with its cost structures, is well positioned to leverage this development and is increasingly playing a positive role in attracting investments to integrate into global supplies. This is an opportunity that several Indian companies are fast leveraging and is also being promoted by the Government of India. Clearly, the COVID pandemic, with its culture of operating from home, has significantly accelerated the adoption of online activities across the world. However, the trend has taken a graded approach as it progressed over time. When the pandemic began 2 years ago, many organizations were catapulted into the future, rapidly accelerating digital transformation. Overnight, there was a change in work environments as remote work became commonplace and market demands evolved. Organizations had to upgrade their supply chains for greater transparency and resiliency and fast embraced cloud-based products. As 2021 began, many supply networks struggled and companies had to focus on improving transparency, flexibility, and resiliency. It was imperative for organizations to reorient and reskill their workforces to optimize remote work capabilities and take full advantage of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence. As we move through 2022, these remain the challenges that need to be worked on over the immediate future. It is imperative to understand that this is as much a technology related issue as it is a human resource related challenge. The transformation requires large trained manpower for effective implementation, and India remains a major hub for these resources. Our core business, Naukri, supports this hiring process in a big way and is thus already witnessing strong growth in revenues. Clearly, in the last 2 years, the penetration of IT has become far more widespread globally, and IT-based activities across economies are expected to witness significant growth over the next 5 years. Estimates by the IT research body reportlinker.com suggests that the market will reach US $14 trillion in 2026 at a staggering compound annual growth rate of 10%. Within our core job placement business too, new technologies are coming into play, which will necessarily require commensurate skill and qualifications among the IT workforce for effective adoption and deployment. Simply put, COVID-19 has created an entirely new set of paradigms. And truth be told, none of us could have confidently predicted the sheer pace of this change even 3 years ago. Over the years, the Government of India has played a supporting role in recognizing the strength of India's IT industry and continuously focused on developing the sector's global brand image. This has started paying rich dividends, and with a supportive policy framework, the industry is poised for significant growth in the next few years. Given this backdrop, InfoEdge's core business, recruitment solutions under the primary brand Naukri.com, recorded a very strong performance in the financial year 2022. The recruitment segment billings increased by 73% to rupees 14,364 million in financial year 2022, while revenue grew by 44% to rupees 11,542 million. The segment's EBITDA was rupees 6,798 million in financial year 2022, representing an annual growth of 55%. The company has taken a conscious decision to increasingly service niche segments within the recruitment space by nurturing specialized brands. Thus, the recruitment business is being developed as an integrated bouquet of offerings that provide tailor-made solutions for specified consumer segments. This is being done through promotion of own brands and strategic acquisitions. Acquisitions include IIMjobs.com, India's leading recruitment platform for management professionals, and HighRisk.com, an exclusive recruitment platform for premium technology talent. Both these platforms are now integrated within the InfoEdge structure, and with focused strategy deployment, they have witnessed good growth in online traction and revenue. These platforms are being supplemented by specialized offerings which are today at a nascent stage of development. A focus site for blue-collar jobs called jobhair.com gained momentum during the year after getting an initial COVID-related setback. For back-end support to the recruitment vertical, the company has also acquired Zwayam, which is engaged in providing SaaS-based sourcing and screening recruitment solutions and providing end-to-end recruitment solutions with configurable plug-and-play modules. In addition, there's the technical assessment platform doselect.com, which is being increasingly used by clients to assess technical skills. We are also actively developing ambitionbox.com as a trusted and transparent platform for sharing helpful information for the entire career community. During the year, this business has evolved and reached leadership levels in terms of traffic share in India. In addition to these wholly owned businesses, we have an investment in Coding Ninjas, which is essentially an upskilling platform. The other segment that witnessed good traction in the financial year 2022 is the online education classifieds business under the shiksha.com domain. It is at an early stage of development, undergoing recalibration of its business strategy in line with evolving market opportunities. To begin with, the business has been repositioned as a complete student counseling platform that fulfills aspirations of Indians wanting to pursue higher education abroad as well as in India. We are actively investing on the product front to create a complete offering, building stronger relations with academia to enrich content on the site, using IT tools to best cull out information from our database, and making the data platform more robust and reaching out to more consumers by investing in developing the brand. The study abroad segment was redesigned as a complete end-to-end solution that supports students right from selection of an appropriate foreign institute to securing a seat in it. This segment performed very well and recorded strong growth. This is a segment where the negative impact of COVID was relatively low, and the product has also been well accepted. On a relatively modest base, the overall business performed well in the financial year 2022, with billing and revenue growing by 65% and 59% respectively, and stood at 965 million and rupees 907 million respectively. And there were modest operating profits too. The other two core businesses, real estate and matrimonial, have been under some level of pressure. 99acres.com, the real estate classified business, continued to maintain leadership in a competitive market. We remain focused on providing the quality and nature of content on the site to provide better user experience. Efforts were also undertaken to streamline and optimize our sales and servicing teams. While real estate segments grew by 25% to rupees 2,173 million in the financial year 2022, annual EBITDA losses increased from rupees 222 million in the financial year 2021 to rupees 782 million, in the financial year 2022. Even though in the short term returns are under stress, we remain committed to making investments in this space. Much of the focus is on enhancing the platform experience, deepening brand building, and improving the client delivery to establish our clear dominance in the market. The real estate segment in India has been under a low growth cycle for a few years now. From the beginning of the calendar year 2022, one is witnessing some green shoots of revival in the Indian real estate sector. As the industry cycle picks up, we are taking steps to be well prepared to leverage the gains from improved markets. To enhance the offering in the space, the company has acquired 63% in 4B Network with an investment of rupees 1,860 million. This venture is building on providing a tech platform to connect agents, brokers, and builders on the one hand, and track and aggregate new home site visits and home loans on the other to make it easier for all participants in the market. Coming to the matrimonial business, Jeevan Sathi has succeeded in certain markets, but we recognize that in terms of overall scale, the business remains smaller than the market leaders, which affects its financial viability. While revenue grew by 3% to rupees 1,002 million in the financial year 2022, segmental EBITDA loss for matrimony increased from 956 million in the financial year 2021 to 1,204 million in the financial year 2022. We have proactively undertaken a detailed review of the business and initiated the process of deploying a substantially revamped strategic roadmap. The goal is primarily on increasing traffic and activity on the site so that the business operates at a more sustainable scale of operations. We have even been the first movers on some fronts, like the introduction of online chats to improve user experience. Today, we are also entering new regions within India with localized strategies and also making several offerings free for use to attract a larger audience. While we adopt these new strategic initiatives, the investments in brand building continues unabated. We expect to see results in the new initiatives over the course of the financial year 2023. These performances contributed to the standalone entity witnessing increase in billing by 59% to rupees 18,660 million in the financial year 2022, while revenues increased by 39% to rupees 15,625 million. Operating EBITDA grew by 61% to rupees 4,637 million. Importantly, deferred sales revenue stood at rupees 8,196 million as on 31st March 2022, representing a growth of 57% over the same date, that's 31st March 2021. This reflects the strong revenue generating potential of the business in the financial year 2023, driven by a significant growth before tax from rupees 3,809 million in the financial year 21 to rupees 9,074 million in the financial year 22. The cash balance at an overall level stood at an extremely healthy position at rupees 37,587 million as on the 31st March 2022. Over the years, the company has utilized its cash for investing in certain growth-oriented entities managed by their own teams. Financial year 2022 was a landmark for this segment of the business as two of the investee companies, Zomato and Policy Bazaar, had very successful public listings. Both these listings had garnered favorable response from marquee investors and were landmark events on Indian stock exchanges. The valuations of these businesses are now driven by the stock market. This strongly vindicates the focused perseverance with these entities and investments made over the last decade. One should note that given some market dynamics, there have been some value depletion in these stocks in the last quarter of the financial year 22. But we believe in the long-term potential of these businesses. A strong vindication to our business ethos and investment performance was the decision taken by the large global investment house Temasek Holdings of Singapore to partner us through its indirect subsidiary entity to make investments in India's IT and new technology domain. With this partnership, InfoEdge has also created a structured fund-based investment vertical. The first alternate investment fund, InfoEdge Venture Fund, launched its first scheme, namely InfoEdge Venture Fund 1, with a fund size of rupees 100 million in January 2020. By 31st March 2022, the fund had been able to successfully invest 80% of its corpus with 27 investments. Of these, 10 entities have been able to raise a follow-on round from marquee investors at higher valuations. In addition, the company has now launched an additional scheme under InfoEdge Venture Fund called IE Venture Fund Follow-on 1 with a corpus of US dollar 100 million, which will invest in the emerging winners from the InfoEdge Venture Fund 1. It has also set up two additional alternate investment funds named InfoEdge Capital and Capital 2B. Under InfoEdge Capital, the scheme, i.e. Venture Investment Fund 2, with a total corpus of US 150 million, will continue to invest in new startups as per the strategy that InfoEdge Venture Fund 1 had adopted. The other venture fund, Capital 2B, has launched the scheme Capital 2B Fund 1 with a corpus of US $75 million and will focus on investments in deep technology and patents. In a certain sense, the COVID period has brought out the true competitive spirit of the companies in the IT-enabled services space. Companies with strong fundamentals have managed to best leverage opportunities amidst very difficult conditions, while others have felt the pressure of performance. InfoEdge has thankfully been one such entity that has undertaken all the necessary changes, made the strategic moves, and focused on execution to come out of the COVID phase as a stronger company poised for the next round of growth. The investment landscape in India is also undergoing a change, and our philosophy of building businesses with frugal capital, low cash burn rates, with a focus on shorter path to profitability is the one that is attracting the new round of investments. The last 2 years of COVID have been a difficult period, but I'm confident it's now behind us. We are ready to make the most of the lessons learned during these difficult times. I thank all our employees and stakeholders who have been the driving force in these challenging times. I look forward to all your good wishes as we embark on the next round in our journey of accelerated value creation. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, the notice convening the 27th AGM of the company, having already been circulated amongst the members, may be taken as read. I now request the company secretary to read the auditor's report and secretarial auditor's report.
Thank you, sir. The attention of members is drawn to the fact that the auditor's report and the secretarial auditor's report do not contain any qualification, reservation, or adverse remark. Both the auditor's report are available for inspection by any member of the company at the NSDL e-voting platform and also on the website of the company. May I, with your permission, take the statutory auditor's report and secretarial auditor's report for FY 21-22 as read?
Now, I further request the company secretary to provide general instructions regarding participating in the meeting.
Sure, sir. The company has sent the annual report for FY22 and notice of the 27th AGM to all shareholders on their registered email addresses available with the company, RTA, and depositories, and to all persons who are entitled for the same. The same is also available on the website of the company and the stock exchanges where the securities of company are listed. Members may note that the facility for joining this meeting through video conferencing or other audio-visual means is made available for 1,000 members on a first-come, first-served basis. The company has received requests from a few members to register themselves as speakers at the meeting. Accordingly, members who have pre-registered themselves as a speaker will be allowed to speak when their names are announced and requested to speak. Members may ask their queries during the meeting through communication box appearing on their screen. Answers to the queries will be given suitably within 15 days. Members are therefore requested to post their email ID along with the query very carefully. I would also like to draw the attention of the members to the fact that the requisite registers and all other documents as referred in the notice and explanatory statement are available for inspection electronically during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can also send their request at investors@naukri.com. The recorded video of the proceedings of this meeting will be available on the website of the company and of the NSDL. The transcript of the AGM will also be uploaded on the website of the company. Now I would request Mr. Kapil Kapoor, Chairman of the company, to take the proceedings further.
Thanks, Jaya. And as Jaya has just shared with you, the company is pleased to have provided its members facility to exercise their right to vote at the 27th AGM of the company by electronic means in compliance with the provisions of Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013, read with Rule 20 of the Company's Management and Administration Rules 2014, and Regulation 44 of the Listings Regulation on the businesses contained in the notice of the AGM through e-voting services provided by NSDL. The remote e-voting period for this purpose had commenced on Monday, August 2022 at 9 a.m. and ended on Thursday, August 25th, 2022 at 5 p.m. During this period, shareholders of the company holding shares either in physical form or in dematerialized form as on the cutoff date, i.e. the record date of Friday, August 19, 2022, were able to cast their vote electronically. Now I would like to take up the resolutions as set forth in the notice of the 27th AGM, dated May 27, 2022, which require shareholders' approval. There are 4 ordinary businesses listed as items number 1 to 4 and 1 special business listed as item number 5. Item number 1 of the notice for your consideration relates to the adoption of audited standalone and consolidated financial statements of the company for the financial year March 31st that ended on March 31st, 2022, together with reports of the board of directors and auditors thereon. The resolution is placed before the meeting to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Item number 2 of the notice for your consideration relates to the declaration of final dividend of rupees 5 per equity share of rupees 10 each and confirmation of the interim dividend of rupees 8 per equity share of rupees 10 each, already paid for the financial year 2021-2022. The resolution is placed before the meeting to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Since I have a conflict on item number 3 of the notice, because that relates to my reappointment as a director who is liable to retire by rotation, I would now request Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani, Executive Vice Chairman of the company, to take up the matter.
Thank you, Kapil. Item number 3 for your consideration is to appoint a director in place of Mr. Kapil Kapoor, who retires by rotation and, being eligible, offers himself for reappointment. The text of this resolution has been provided in the notice of the AGM sent to the members. The resolution is placed before the meeting to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Thank you. I request the chairman to take up the remaining items of the notice.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Item number 4 for your consideration is to reappoint Messrs. S.R. Bartley Boy and Associates LLP, Chartered Accountants, as statutory auditors of the company and fix their remuneration. The text of the resolution has been provided in the notice of the AGM sent to the members. The resolution is placed before the meeting to be passed as an ordinary resolution. And item number 5 for your consideration is to appoint branch auditors and fix their remuneration. The text of the resolution has been provided in the notice of the AGM sent to the members. The resolution is placed before the meeting to be passed as an ordinary resolution. We now move on to our discussion with the members who have registered themselves as speakers with the company for raising their queries or to share their views on any items of the notice of the AGM or the financial statements of the companies for the financial year 2021-2022. Those members who have not registered themselves as speakers can communicate and share their comments or queries, if any, through the communication box appearing on the screen. The company would reply to all those queries within 15 days. Members are also requested to quote their email ID along with the complete queries on the communication box. Before we commence the Q&A session, I request Jaya Bhatia, Company Secretary, to share the guidelines for the Q&A session. Jaya, over to you.
Thank you, sir. I'll quickly share a few guidelines for Q&A session. Q&A session will be anchored by the operator. Operator will request the pre-registered shareholders to ask their questions one by one. Members are requested to unmute their microphone on their names being called by the operator before speaking, and they may also enable their webcam if they wish to appear on the video. Members are requested to mention their name, folio number, DP ID, and location. Each shareholder will have 3 minutes for their queries in order to give opportunity to all other pre-registered shareholders. Once you have asked the questions, you can mute yourself and continue to watch the proceedings. Answer to the queries raised by the shareholders will be provided once all speaker shareholders have spoken. Members may also note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time, and those shareholders who are unable to speak due to connectivity issues would be allowed to speak once the other shareholder have been given a chance to speak. Thank you. Now I request the operator to invite the speaker shareholders.
Thank you. We will now begin with the question and answer session. I now invite our first speaker shareholder, Mr. Yashpal Chopra, to ask his question.
Well, Yashpal Chopra calling from Delhi. My client ID is 10592847 and 10592558. Sir, I am a very, very old shareholder of your company and have been with you since the inception of the company. So I have seen the company just going up and up and up, and I have seen that this year the company made the lifetime high share price at the NSE, which was more than 7,500 and all that. Sir, you are really a visionary person. You don't leave any opportunity whichever comes before you. And even in today, in the timing of your meeting, that shows that the most successful companies like Coforge and our system, they were holding their meeting in the morning around 9, and you are holding the meeting after the office hours at 5:30. So that means you want to avail the full day with your employees, and even then you want to have this AGM. That is a very, very nice thing. As an investor, I am very much proud of you, sir. Sir, as regards the performance of the company, that is excellent, because there is all-round growth in this revenue, PBT, PAT, EBITDA, EPS, even the dividend declared, that is quite investor friendly, and I am very much proud of that, sir. Sir, the projects chosen by our company, or I can say that the products chosen by our company, those are mostly the social projects, which is either the responsibility, either that of our parents for the matrimonial purposes and all that, or that of our government for that Naukri and house and all that thing. So you have been supplementing to the needs of the social cause. Then this is a very, very big thing. And that way you are just getting the blessing of millions of people. So this is a matter of pride for us, sir. So, sir, your projects, these Naukri.com and Shiksha.com and 99 acres and all that, and definitely that marriage.com. So, sir, for the last so many years, we have been requesting for a demerger of this company. We wanted to have some new company out of these. And I think even in our physical meetings, we had raised that point, but still we are waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't know how long we have to wait for that. And sir, I must congratulate for your collaboration with your Singapore partners, because that will get us additional liquidity in our company. That additional liquidity means additional strength, and the strength means the strength of our own investments. So this is a matter of pride for us, sir. So I can speak a lot, but I don't want to disturb others who are standing in the queue. So, but meanwhile, I must say that the corporate governance under Madam Jaya Bhatia, that is excellent, and I am very much proud of Mr. Kumar, who is a darling of the investors, who is maintaining such a strong rapport with us that he reminds us the Chopraji meeting has come. So now you have to be ready for that. So I will rather thank even the chorus people who got me connected, because I am a person at the age of 83. It is very, very difficult for me to just join the meeting, because digitally all the operations, even today in the meeting, that meeting of SBI card, I told them that this project must be good for you and the young men, but for the oldies, this is a very risky proposal. We do not want to spoil our savings by just going, because we do not know actually how to operate that. That is our compulsion. I am enjoying the 25th silver jubilee year of my retirement. You can understand that I got retired in 1997. But because I am keeping myself very busy, because I have got a very, very big investment, around 500 to 600 companies are with me, and I am as a speaker on almost all the company. So because of my being investor, I wish best of luck to the company, to the management, and pray God to bestow positivity on you all, from the top man to the last man in our organization, because that positivity, that strength of the company is virtually the strength of my investment. Best of luck to you, and festive greeting for the festivals coming ahead. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chopra, and you really are an inspiration to us at this age, and to sort of come in and be able to participate online the way you have. And thank you indeed for your kind comments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Gagan Kumar. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, and fellow shareholders. Myself, Gagan Kumar. I am joining this meeting from Delhi. My DPID is 300206110444542. चेयरमैन साहब, काफी लंबे अरसे से मैं यूं कहूं कि जब से हमारा आईपीओ आया है तब से हम लोग आपसे जुड़े हुए हैं, और बड़ा अच्छा हमारा अनुभव है आपकी कंपनी के प्रति कि जो शेयर मल्टीपल हुए उनका रेट हर एंगल से, डिविडेंड, इंटरिम डिविडेंड, सभी तरह से जो इन्वेस्टर को एप्रिसिएशन मिली है उसके लिए आप सभी बधाई के पात्र हैं सर। वैसे तो आपने अपनी चेयरमैन स्पीच में अपने काफी कुछ कवर कर दिया है, स्टिल मेरे माइंड में एक पॉइंट है सर, मैं उससे आपसे कंफर्म करना चाहता हूँ कि हमने जो दो कंपनियां एक्वायर किए हैं, जुआन एंड, उनकी फ्यूचर स्ट्रेटजी के बारे में, सॉरी
हाँ, बोलिए।
या जुआन एंड डू सेलेक्ट जो हमने कंपनियां एक्वायर की हैं, उनकी फ्यूचर स्ट्रेटजी के बारे में कुछ बता पाए इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर हमें। एंड जीवन साथी एंड 99 एकड़ को भी हम जिस तरह से Naukri.com को देखते हैं उस लेवल पर लाने के लिए हमारी क्या स्ट्रेटजीज है, ये इस बारे में थोड़ा सा आप बताइए सर। और शेयर का प्राइस भी हमारा जो है जब अराउंड 7,500 पहुंच गया था तो हम लोगों के मन में आस थी कि अब ये 5 फिगर टच ही करेगा, मतलब 10,000 के आसपास जरूर ट्रेड करेगा, लेकिन उसके बाद वहां से थोड़ा सा शेयर जो है वो डाउन आया। स्टिल हम लोगों पे आप पे पूरा विश्वास है और अपनी मैनेजमेंट पे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमें बेहतर रिटर्न मिलेंगे। और जैसा मेरे प्रीवियस स्पीकर ने बोला सर कि हम एक डी मर्जर को काफी टाइम से वेट कर रहे हैं कि इस इन्फोएज के शेयर के साथ हमें बाकी कंपनियों का शेयर होल्डर बनने का भी मौका मिले, ये भी आपकी तरफ से एक गिफ्ट ही है शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए सर, तो कृपया करके इसको कंसीडर कीजिए। बाकी ज्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं मिस्टर कुमार और उनकी एंटायर टीम, आवर सीएस, जिन्होंने बहुत ही बेहतरीन तरीके से सभी शेयर होल्डर को इन्फॉर्म भी किया, लिंक भी प्रोवाइड किया और एक रिमाइंडर कॉल भी दिया कि आपको अभी ज्वाइन होना है। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you. Our next speaker shareholder is Ms. Urmila Jain. Ma'am, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question.
मैडम मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी मैम.
हेलो. हाँ, चेयरमैन सर नमस्कार और सभी को भी मेरा नमस्कार. मैं उर्मिला जैन, DPID 300118, क्लाइंट ID 10401292. सर मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है ये बताते हुए कि आज हमारी कंपनी ने सफलतापूर्वक 27 से भी ज्यादा साल पूरे कर लिए हैं. ये हमारे लिए बड़े गर्व की बात है. सर हमारी कंपनी डिविडेंड लगातार देती आ रही है, ये सराहनीय है. परंतु जो हमारे शेयर का रेट मार्केट में 7,500 से ऊपर चला गया था, वो आज 4500 के आसपास चल रहा है. जबकि हमारे शेयर का रेट और भी अच्छा होना चाहिए. जो मेरे से पहले वाले गगन कुमार जी ने मुझे बताया, सबको 10,000 के आसपास होना चाहिए. सर मैं सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ, जिन्होंने मुझे VC के माध्यम से बोलने का अवसर प्रदान किया. और सर मैं बोर्ड में बैठे सभी मेंबरों से नम्र निवेदन करना चाहती हूँ कि वो बोनस या स्पीड पर विचार करें, क्योंकि शेयर का रेट भी मार्केट में अच्छा है. सर हमारी कंपनी CSR के तहत बढ़ चढ़कर अच्छा काम कर रही है, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है. हमारी कंपनी ने से जो मेहनत और लगन से काम कर रहे हैं वो धन्यवाद के पात्र हैं. मुझे कंपनी के मैनेजमेंट और स्टाफ पर पूरा भरोसा है कि वो हमारी कंपनी आने वाले समय में काफी ऊंचाइयों से छुएगी और हमें अच्छा रिटर्न कमा कर देगी. इसी तरह हमारी कंपनी आगे बढ़ती रहेगी, दिन दुगनी रात चौगनी तरक्की करती रहेगी. सर धन्यवाद.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद उर्मिला जी.
Thank you.
थैंक यू.
I now invite our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Ashok Kumar Jain, to ask his question. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible. We'll request you to
sir.
unmute your video.
आपका वीडियो
Mr.
नहीं चल
Jain,
रहा
may
है.
we please-
Hello, I'm audible, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. Carry on with the
Yes,
question.
yes,
No
yes.
problem.
मैं अध्यक्ष महोदय सभी बोर्ड मेंबर्स का एवं सभी शेयर धारकों का स्वागत करता हूं. मैं अशोक जैन दिल्ली से मीटिंग ज्वाइन कर रहा हूं. मेरा DPID नंबर 30011810242590 है. मैं सभी बोर्ड मेंबर्स एम्प्लॉय की कड़ी मेहनत, लगन और ईमानदारी का तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने कंपनी को नई ऊंचाइयां छूने का बहुत समर्थन किया है और आगे आशा करता हूं आगे भी कंपनी नई ऊंचाइयां छुएगी. जैसे कि पूर्व प्रवक्ता ने भी बोला कि हम चाहते हैं कि शेयर प्राइस मार्केट में 5 डिजिट में आना चाहिए था, जो हम बहुत अच्छी आशा करते हैं. वैसे तो चेयरमैन साहब ने अपनी स्पीच में कंपनी के बारे में बहुत जानकारी दी और भविष्य के कुछ नए प्लान्स के बारे में, इन्फोएज वेंचर्स फंड या अदर फंड्स के बारे में, जिसका कि कंपनी आगे कई नए प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में विचार कर रही है, उसके बारे में भी बहुत कुछ जानकारी दी. कंपनी ने अपनी मेहनत के लगातार डिविडेंड को इंक्रीज करते रही है कई सालों से. जब से IPO आया सर, कंपनी ने कई बार बोनस दे चुके. आगे भी हम कंपनी से बोनस की गुजारिश करते हैं, तथा साथ ही साथ कंपनी का आगे डीमर्जर का क्या विचार है, उसके बारे में बताएंगे. सर, अध्यक्ष महोदय ने कंपनी की सभी प्रकार की ट्रांसपेरेंटी के बारे में बहुत बखूबी से व्याख्यान दिया, जिससे कि पता लगता है कंपनी कितनी ईमानदारी से हर प्रोजेक्ट में काम कर रही है. सर, मीटिंग को ज्वाइन करने के लिए सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट, CS में और खासकर कुमार साहब का बहुत सहयोग रहा है, जिन्होंने हमें इस पोर्टल पे जुड़ने में बहुत हेल्प किया है. मॉडरेटर का भी बार बार फोन आते रहे, किसी प्रकार की कोई परेशानी हो तो बताइएगा. इस प्रकार सर हम धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे सभी का. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Jain. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. Our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Jasmeet Singh, is connected via audio. Sir, may we request you to proceed with your question?
All right. Thank you very much, moderator. Hope I am audible to
You
everyone.
are.
Can you
Yes,
please
very much
confirm?
so.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Respected Chairman, sorry, this time I am unable to, because of the low bandwidth, I am unable to switch on my video. So, but probably you will be able to recognize I have been part of the previous
Very much so.
AGMs
Remember you well.
while we conducted. Thank you. Appreciate. Yeah. So, respected Chairman, Shri Kapil Kapoor, other directors, and everyone attending this video call. Very good evening to you all from Jasmeet Singh from Delhi. Chair, while COVID pandemic continued in the year under review, however, it was heartening to see that our working picked up despite somewhat adverse conditions. The top line growth, EBITDA growth is satisfactory and consequent improvement in the operating and net profit margins. And I am thankful to the management to have considered and proposed a higher dividend interim plus the final dividend of rupees 13 this year. Though this dividend is too low, very low, to share with us with the extraordinary profits which we booked in our balance sheet. As I refer to the BSE site, probably the earning per share which we booked last year was close to 700 rupees. And so this dividend was not in line with the extraordinary profits which we booked. So my humble request if you can consider, say, in the current year to share some of those profits. Continuing with my note, the detailed working which you have shared about our economy in general and company in particular have really provided us a good amount of information. I am afraid there are no questions on the balance sheet. However, I must say that the Naukri portal, Shiksha portal, 99-acre portal, Jeevan Sathi portal, and several other portals are doing fairly well, and I foresee continued growth in all these verticals and a very bright future for all us being part of InfoEdge. While I don't have doubts in the ability of our management leadership team to deliver, but I'm keen to know the tickets that the company has charted out to scale up its existing verticals and some new businesses which or say new vistas that may have been envisioned for next few years. Also, I would like to know if we are working upon creating a footprint in any overseas destination, as we are a IT-driven company, so we have immense knowledge and the know-how how to manage HR portals or say marriage portals or say real estate portals effectively and efficiently. Before I stop, it would be unfair on my part to finish my note without mentioning a couple of things. I must acknowledge the efforts of our company to contribute its bit to the society, especially during the current adverse times of pandemic through our CSR programs. And at the same time, I want to praise on the high standards of corporate governance maintained by the Chief of Finance and Company Secretary. Finally, I share some sentiments as echoed by our previous shareholders that please do consider splitting the share face value. That's it from me. Thank you very much. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Jasmeet Singh. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Mahendra Pal Bhutani, is connected via audio. Sir, you may please proceed with your question.
Sir, good evening to Chairman, board members, and management team. Sir, I am Bhutani MP from New Delhi as a retail investor, member of your company. First of all, I would like to thanks to the CS for sending the notice well in time, and I found that the annual report is in detail in information and all section has been covered in a transparent manner. Sir, my question related to the appointment of strategic cost auditor. Most of the company changing them after 3 years of their services. What is your policy in this matter? And next, what are the company strategy roadmap for remaining period of financial year 22-23 and financial year 23-24? And next,
So,
where
Mr.
do you
Bhutani,
see
just a clarification, just one clarification on that question. You said for statutory auditors, you're saying what is the change of every 3 years
Sir,
is what you said?
sir, by rotation, some companies by rotation every 3 year or 5 year they are changing their directors after 3 years. Is there any policy of our company to change the statutory director after 3 year or 5 year?
Okay.
This,
Okay.
yeah,
Understood the question.
it's depend on the company policy, sir. It's your policy, sir. We just want to know
Okay.
for our information. And next is,
Okay.
sir, respected chairman, sir, where do you see our company in financial year 24-25 in terms of size of the capitalization and the is there any impact of the inflation, rupee depreciation, and prevailing domestic and global issue which we are observing in the market? Sir, what is our further future plan for acquisition, expansion in coming time? Sir, we have noticed that in our Naukri.com app, company is getting good performing, better performing, but rest of the two 99 acre and Jeevansathi.com and other app, what is our status? Why we are not in position to in term of this their growth level in the top like Naukri.com, as the previous some shareholder has pointed out. And as a shareholder, I believe that the company management is far younger in its thinking, transparent in its working, and strong in its commitment, and more responsible. And our company is investor friendly, and I hope that in the coming time, our company will definitely appreciate the investor in any form, whatever you feel, or they are declaring bonus share or the demerger of shares. Sir, therefore, under your leadership and guidance, Chairman sir, company will perform better and better year and year ahead. I would appreciate if you could briefly reply, and I wish the company all the best for the future and hope to see a healthy growth in business and size of the company. And lastly, I appreciate the efforts of the CS team, Shri Kumar sir, and the all top level and the last person for their contribution during the second wave and the third wave for achieving the target of the company, for giving the best performance during this last year 21-22. Thank you very much, sir, and I hope that this trend will be continue and sustainable growth we will find in the coming time. Thank you very much, Chairman, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you indeed, Mr. Bhutani.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder, that is Mr. Manjeet Singh. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question. Mr. Manjeet Singh, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question. As we are unable to hear Mr. Manjeet Singh, we'll have his connection check and reconnect him. We'll move on to the next speaker shareholder, that is on the line of Mr. Rakesh Kumar. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question. Mr. Rakesh Kumar.
So, audible, sir?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, Mr. Kumar.
Chairman, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी एंड को शेयर होल्डर, सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो आपने मुझे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर बोलने का। सर सारी बातें हो चुकी, आपने सवाल किए, सारे क्वेश्चन बहुत बहुत बधाई।
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Rakesh Kumar. Sir, we are unable to hear you clearly.
आपकी आवाज थोड़ी टूट के आ रही है।
सर अब आवाज आ रही है ठीक सर?
Yes sir, please proceed.
सर आपने जो करके दिखाया है सर, ये शेयर होल्डर के इतिहास में बहुत अच्छा काम किया है सर आपने, कि हमें इतने शेयर मिल चुके हैं कि हम अपने आप को तसल्ली बख्श समझते हैं जब भी हमने इन्वेस्ट किया आपके शेयर में कि हमने एक अच्छी कंपनी के शेयर लिए, उससे हमारी ग्रोथ तो बड़ी और सर हमें जो आपसे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर मिलने का मौका मिलता है,
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
मिल सके।
Sir, we are not able to hear you clearly. Mr. Rakesh Kumar.
हाँ जी मैम, नहीं आ रही आवाज सर?
Sir,
हेलो
अभी आ रही है. Please proceed.
सर, मैं इतना यही कहूंगा कि सारे क्वेश्चन रेस हो चुके हैं, तो मिलने का मौका मिले, अगली मीटिंग जो हो फिजिकल हो, आपके लिए अच्छा, हमारे लिए भी अच्छा है सर। हम जरूर मिलना चाहेंगे आपसे क्योंकि आपने हमें बहुत अच्छा रिटर्न किया, हम आपके आभारी हैं सर। बाकी कंपनी सेक्रेटरी एंड कुमार साहब का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जिन्होंने हमें इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर जुड़ने का मौका दिया। धन्यवाद सर, थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद राकेश कुमार जी।
Thank you. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder. That is Mr. Jaswinder Singh. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question. Jaswinder Singh. There seems to be a technical issue from the line of Jaswinder Singh. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder. That is on the line of Kanika Jain. Ma'am, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello, okay. Good evening, Chairman Sir, Board of Directors, and fellow shareholders attending the e-meeting. Congratulations to the management and all the staff for providing excellent results, as our profit for the year 2022 has been increased by 8 times as compared to financial year 21, in spite of the lockdown during the second COVID-19 wave in India. There is no doubt in the financial statements of annual report, and I have full faith in the management. Sir, I would like to know that in this improved scenario in the domestic market after the pandemic, how will you reward the shareholders in financial year 23? Shall we expect a bonus share? Second, what steps has the board taken to monitor that shareholders' interests are being protected? Thank you very much to all the staff of Secretarial Department for allowing me to put up my points in the meeting, and I hope the management will continue to hold the AGM through VC in future also, which enables the shareholders residing at faraway places like me to interact with the management. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kanika Jain ji.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder. That is on the line of Mr. Pradeep Sood. Sir, may we request you to unmute your...
थैंक यू चेयरमैन सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। मैं प्रदीप सूद दिल्ली से अपने साथी भाई अजय खुराना जी के साथ आपका और पूरे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स का तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं और शुक्रगुजार हूं आपका कि आपने मुझे बोलने के लिए समय दिया। चेयरमैन सर, बीते सालों से आप जिस मेहनत लगन ईमानदारी से कंपनी के लिए डिवोशन और डेडिकेशन से काम करते चले आ रहे हैं और इस कंपनी के शेयर्स को नई ऊंचाइयां दी हैं, बेहतरीन डिविडेंड दिया है और बहुत ही अच्छे रिजल्ट लाके दिखाए हैं। बहुत ही तारीफ के पात्र हैं आप पूरे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के साथ, और हम ये उम्मीद करते हैं और आशा जताते हैं और हमें पूरा भरोसा है और हम ये पूरी उम्मीद करके चलते हैं कि आप ऐसा करके दिखाएंगे। नेक्स्ट ईयर जब भी हम आएंगे एक अच्छे, बहुत ही इससे भी बढ़िया डिविडेंड के साथ, बहुत ही बढ़िया रिजल्ट के साथ और कंपनी के शेयर्स को बेहतरीन ऊंचाइयों के साथ, हमें पूरा भरोसा है। मैं अपने कंपनी सेक्रेटरी साहिबा का धन्यवाद करता हूं कि वो डे टू डे अफेयर्स में हमें कंपनी के बारे में अपडेट करती रहती हैं। कंपनी कितना ऊपर जा रही है, कंपनी में क्या दिक्कत आ रही है, नहीं आ रही, कंपनी कितनी ऊंचाइयां छू रही है। और दूसरा, मैं कुमार साहब का बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं कि इस प्लेटफॉर्म तक जुड़ने के लिए वो शुरू जिस दिन से हमें ईमेल आई है और आज तक बिल्कुल हमारे कांटेक्ट में है, उन्होंने हमें बहुत अच्छा गाइड किया है। और पूरे कोरस कॉल स्टाफ का मैं बड़ा धन्यवाद दूं जो सभी शेयर होल्डर के साथ पूरी रिहर्सल के साथ हमें आप तक पहुंचाने में मदद करते हैं। मैं फिर से चेयरमैन सर आपका अपने साथी भाई अजय खुराना जी के साथ धन्यवाद करता हूं और एक नई उम्मीद के साथ शेयर्स को नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचाने के लिए, बहुत बेहतरीन डिविडेंड देने के लिए और बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट लाने के लिए। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Mr. Sood, and on behalf of Mr. Khurana also, please pass on our thank you to him.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder. That is on the line of Narendra Singh Chauhan. Sir, may we request you to unmute your audio and video and please proceed with your question.
Hello.
Um,
Hello,
yes,
am I
sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Please proceed with your question.
So good evening to everyone. Narendra Singh Chauhan this side from Delhi, and respected Chairman Saab, Board of Directors, and all my fellow shareholder friends. I would like to thank you for all connecting me in this protocol and gave me the chance to speak in front of all of you virtually. And sir, I want to thank to Kumar Saab and all the secretary department as they always solve our doubts and queries of any type immediately and reply us timely. And as we know, the share price is also going very good. I just want department to think of giving bonuses in the form of shares or any other means to their shareholders. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chauhan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Raju Verma, has registered, however not connected. We'll move on to our next speaker shareholder. That is on the line of Manjeet Singh via audio. Sir, you may please proceed with your question.
हेलो, माई ऑडिबल सर?
Yes, you are.
हाँ जी चेयरमैन साहब, ऑडिबल माई ऑडिबल?
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल सुनाई दे रहा है, बोलिए।
हाँ जी, चेयरमैन सर, डायरेक्टर और माई सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट और माई को शेयर होल्डर सभी का मैं स्वागत करता हूं और गुड इवनिंग सभी को जी। करीब 95 के अंदर आपने 1995 के अंदर इस कंपनी की जो नींव रखी संजीव दिक्कचांदी जी ने, जिनको कि अभी पद्म श्री अवार्ड मिला है, उसकी मैं आपको मुबारकबाद देना चाहूंगा। और नवंबर 2006 के अंदर आपने इस कंपनी को लिस्ट कराया। हितेश उबराय जी 2000 में आए कंपनी में और 2006 में इस कंपनी को लिस्ट कराया। ये बड़े गर्व की बात है। और ये जो हमारी कंपनी है, मोदी जी का जो विजन है, लोकल पर वोकल भारी है, जो प्योर प्ले इंटरनेट कंपनी इन द कंट्री है जी, इसकी मैं आपको मुबारकबाद देना चाहूंगा। हमारी जो है कंपनी की टीम के अंदर कपिल कपूर जी 2013 के अंदर आए और हमारे जो है चिंतन ठाकुर जी 2014 के अंदर आए। उसके बाद कंपनी ने रफ्तार पकड़ी और कई तरह के हमें जो है बोनस भी मिले और डिविडेंड भी अच्छे मिले। आज ये बड़े खुशी की बात है कि जो हमारा बुक वैल्यू है करीब 1400 रुपए शेयर का मेंशन हो रहा है। इतना हैवी जो बुक वैल्यू है किसी खास कंपनी का नजर नहीं आता। हम 9 तरह के बिजनेस में इस टाइम ऑलरेडी चल रहे हैं, उनकी क्या पोजीशन है आप थोड़ा इस बारे में बताइएगा। और जो होल्डिंग स्टेक दिखा रहा है हमारा कई कंपनियों के अंदर, उसका क्या प्रॉफिट के ऊपर हमारे ऊपर फर्क पड़ता है, आप इस बारे में बताइएगा। हमारा टर्नओवर अपना प्रॉफिट अच्छे रहे, रिजर्व हमारा अच्छा है। हमने जो है एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट के ऊपर जो है अच्छा खर्चा किया है। पिछले साल के मुकाबले 548 करोड़ रुपए करीब खर्च किए थे और इस साल करीब 711 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए हैं एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट के ऊपर। वो एक जो है अच्छा कंपनी की तरफ दर्शाता है। सर आप ये थोड़ा बताएंगे ऑपरेशन एंड डायरेक्ट जो हमारे एक्सपेंसिव हैं वो 21-22 के अंदर करीब 31 करोड़ आपने दिखाए हैं और जो साल 2020-21 में कोई खर्चा ही नहीं हुआ था उसके ऊपर, और 19-20 के साल में जो है 23 करोड़ का जो उसके ऊपर खर्चा हुआ था। तो ये मेंशन मैं करना चाहूंगा कि 2020-21 में इसके ऊपर कोई खर्चा नहीं हुआ था क्या? और मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहूंगा कि रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर हम अपना टोटल प्रॉफिट का कितना खर्चा करते हैं, आप इस बारे में बताइएगा। हाँ, कॉर्पोरेट एक्शन तो सारा शेयर होल्डर मांगते ही हैं, रिजर्व हमारा अच्छा है, तो कोई ऐसा स्पेशल डिविडेंड हमारे को आ सकता है? आप स्पिरिट और बोनस के ऊपर भी कोई विचार करिएगा। ऑलरेडी सभी शेयर होल्डर ने बताया कि हमारा आंकड़ा 7000 के ऊपर भी गया था, तो 10 रुपए फेस वैल्यू का अगर इतना शेयर का रेट बढ़ता है तो अगर उसको आप स्प्लिट या बोनस देते हैं तो उसके वॉल्यूम जो है ज्यादा बढ़ता है और शेयर की वैल्यू बाजार में अच्छी मिलती है। आप इस तरफ ध्यान दीजिएगा। कॉर्पोरेट एक्शन के अंदर आप प्रमोटर होल्डिंग हमारी करीब 38% दिखा रहा है, तो क्या हम कोई बायबैक की योजना लाएंगे? आप इस बारे में जरा विस्तार से बताइएगा। और आपसे हम जुड़ पाए, ये सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट और मॉडरेटर की बड़ी मेहरबानी और बड़ी चिंता का उन्होंने कारण बनाया। जब हमारा कनेक्शन नहीं मिल पाया तो उन्होंने ऑलरेडी हमें आपसे जोड़ा। ये इन्होंने मतलब इस तरह से एक अपना फर्ज निभाया है, बिल्कुल कोई औपचारिकता नहीं रखी उन्होंने इसमें। हम आपके सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट, मॉडरेटर और जो भी लोग इनसे जुड़े हुए हैं सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट से, सभी की प्रशंसा करते हैं। थैंक यू फॉर दी Info Age management team and secretarial team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dear shareholders, due to time constraint, we'll be taking the last question. For shareholders who did not get an opportunity to ask their question, would request you to put your questions on the communication box or send their queries on email ID investors@naukri.com. The company will respond to the same within 15 days. The next speaker shareholder is connected via audio from the line of Mr. Jaswinder Singh.
Yeah. I hope this time I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Jaswinder Singh, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Sir, my account number is 120. Pardon? My account number is 120-109-000-564-1688. Sir, it's an honor to be part of the meeting, and this is virtual meeting. Hopefully next year, when we are going to meet in the coming AGM and next AGM, that could be, in both ways, whether both physical meeting as well as this OVM will be there. Because we would like to have your darshan, sir. That's for, because, it's a one in a year, opportunity to have, darshan of such big people, because you have, sir, really reason like anything, so that's commendable. Sir, I would like to know something regarding the student education. I mean, you have said it's basically a very noble job, as well as very paying also. Not many companies are there, but they are very small players like Chopra, IDM, etc. They are doing good in this. Sir, what do we what are we basically offering in them? I think we are doing, we are a big company, much better than them. So, sir, can we give some kind of discount to shareholders also if they want to send in watts abroad for the further education? Can the shareholder expect some kind of discount? And so what we are doing towards regarding this artificial intelligence, because our company mainly, although as Mr. Chopra was saying earlier, that it's doing very, it's a noble job. Basically, it's doing the, it's taking the job of government also doing something, the marriage job, but it's all social as well as government job you're doing. Sir, I just want to know, sir, basically, regarding the artificial intelligence, sir, what we are doing in this, our corporate governance is excellent, sir. And sir, I would like to have the same, not many people, shareholders have asked the same thing regarding the right issue. So, and the diversification, sir. Because our share of 10 rupees around for trading around 5,000. It touched up to 7,000 mark also. So, I mean, if you are going to split the face value or offer right issue, these shareholders will be benefited in that. So, I will request you to kindly look into this matter. And so, thanks a lot to Mr. Kumar also, because he has taken personal care in inviting the shareholders that that meeting is there, although we were running it, but still he is very friendly to shareholders, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jaswinder Singh.
Thank you. With this, we conclude the Q&A session. Now, I request the chairman to address the queries raised by the shareholders.
Yes. Thank you. I think there were a few common themes that have emerged across a number of shareholders, and I'd like to address it all, under the idea of the themes that came. I think there were comments first on the market price of the share. And I just want to, and a lot of you gave, complimented the management team for great governance and being focused. I think that's really where I wanted to emphasize the focus of the company is to do a job, to do it as well as we can, and grow the long term, brand and the businesses over a long term perspective. What happens in the share market in short terms is sometimes out of our control. There are various factors at play, as you know, which are market conditions, their global conditions, their domestic conditions, and the share price can vary. And we do not try to, we do see it go up, we see it come down, but as long as we generate long-term shareholder value, that is our goal, and focus on building businesses with the right ethics and the right corporate governance. That's where we'd want to continue to focus on. You had another consistent theme emerge on saying we should consider higher rights, higher dividend, higher. We have been increasing our dividend, as you've seen over the years. We've been increasing our dividend, fairly substantially. But your point is well taken. And we, as a company, we do look at capital allocation, both in terms of how much we can invest in our internal businesses, how much we can invest in external business opportunities to try and maximize return of to the shareholders. So we look at all these factors in deciding and determining the dividend. Having said that, we have recently revisited our dividend policy, and we will be sharing that with all shareholders as our existing policy. So you'll see what is gone into the thinking of our dividend policy also. There were other themes that have sort of emerged out there, and I think there were comments that I think a couple of you have specifically asked on what are we doing with two of our recent acquisitions, Zwayam and DoSelect, and what are we doing with two of our businesses that have faced more challenges, which are 99 Acres and Jeevan Sathi. I think the person who's in the best position to address that query is Mr. Hitesh Oberoi, our CEO, and so I'm going to pass it over to him to address those questions.
Thank you, Kapil. I'll first answer the question around Zwayam and DoSelect. So as you know, over the last few years, we've been following a strategy of in our Naukri business of getting into adjacent verticals so that we cover the whole spectrum. We acquired IM Jobs, then and Hirist sometime back. Before that, we had acquired Ambition Box, which is a review and rating platform. IM Jobs is a premium management hiring portal. Hirist is a premium tech hiring portal. And a couple of years ago, we acquired Zwayam and DoSelect as well. Now, Zwayam is a end-to-end recruitment management software. Companies today, use our site to post jobs and to take out resumes, but then they have to use some other software to manage these applications, to manage these resumes, to conduct, if they want to shortlist, they have to use a different software. They have to conduct interviews, they have to use a different software. So Zwayam is our effort to give them everything on Naukri itself. So if they buy Zwayam from us, if they use our software, they can conduct the entire process online through our system. So that is what Zwayam does. DoSelect, what we've seen over the last few years is that IT hiring has picked up tremendously. Earlier, companies used to mostly hire on the basis of CV. They would look at qualifications and they would look at what kind of companies the person had worked in, and they would, sort of hire those people. But lately, we have seen a trend where companies want to conduct, tests, coding tests, skilling tests, and other such tests and assessments before they make offers, because salaries are going through the roof, and they want to be very sure, and they want to also give an opportunity to people who are not from from very, very good campuses, especially if they know their coding, if they know their software. So Zwayam, so DoSelect is like a talent assessment platform, and they can use DoSelect to conduct these tests. Both these businesses have tremendous potential, and we are using our Naukri sales team and our existing customer relationships to get them into other clients. They had a small client base to start with, but we are using our existing relationships to take them to all our other customers. So that's as far as the Naukri business and Zwayam and DoSelect go. As far as Jeevan Sathi and 99 Acres are concerned, Jeevan Sathi, like was pointed out by our chairman, is a good business, but it's a small business. Our competitors are much bigger and more dominant. Even though we've gained share over the last few years, it's still tiny. So what we are doing now is trying out a very different approach in Jeevan Sathi. As you know, the businesses we are in our marketplaces, we make handshakes happen, we make buyers and sellers meet, job providers and job seekers on Naukri, brides and grooms on Jeevan Sathi, and so on. And sometimes, you need critical mass, you need to get the network effect going. Unless and until you have a lot of people on your platform, it doesn't just, matches won't happen, doesn't create word of mouth. So what we have done recently in Jeevan Sathi is a very, very radical sort of change in strategy. We have made chat free on Jeevan Sathi. The hope is that this will help us acquire more users much faster and cheaper in the long run. And in the long run will benefit the business because as we will gain market share. Now in the short term, it will mean that we will lose some revenue because some of the chat was earlier paid and it was a big part of our revenue. So in the short term, it will mean that we will sacrifice some revenue, but hopefully in the long run, we will gain both the traffic and market share, and we'll figure out other ways and means to monetize our customers. In 99 acres, the market was down because of COVID for a while. It was while the Naukri business was impacted by COVID, 99 acres was even more impacted. There was a point in time when 99 acres sales were down 70% year on year. Since then, we have recovered strongly. In 99 acres, we had one very bad quarter. Q1 last year was very bad because of Delta, and virtually sort of there was very little sale in Q1. But since then, our business has bounced back. Yes, what we are also seeing a lot of competitive activity in this space. A lot of other players have become very aggressive. And perhaps one reason for that is that the real estate market is likely to do well going forward. So the real estate market was in a lot of trouble for the last few years because of a variety of issues: demonetization, RERA, GST, NBFC crisis, COVID, etc. And prices had fallen substantially. But it looks like the market is bouncing back, and the next few years are going to be good. And therefore, there is a lot of competitive activity, a lot of and marketing spends from our competitors, etc., which has resulted in us having to sort of respond also. As far as we are concerned, we are following a two-pronged strategy. We continue to invest in our product development and user experience on the platform. We are trying to get more and more supply on the platform so that all the listings which are all the houses which are available for sale or rent can be seen in one place by our users. So we are investing more to get supply. We have launched some premium branding products for our customers. We are experimenting with we upped our marketing spend also to reach more customers and more users to increase our traffic and share. We are redoing our app so that we can offer a better experience on our app, and we continue to invest in our we've actually launched a new real estate intelligence section, so you can now check transaction prices on 99 acres. If a property was sold or bought in multiple cities, now we have the records from registry from the various registries being displayed on our platform. So we are doing a bunch of things to ensure that our experience keeps getting better and better, and that we have all the supply. And hopefully, if we do that, we will get all the traffic, and that will result in more and more responses to our customers, and then we can monetize them better. So that's our approach in 99 acres. Hopefully, it will work out over a period of time. The second thing we have done in 99 acres, we've invested in a startup called 4B Networks, which is trying to approach the whole sort of market very differently. Early days as far as that startup is concerned, but that's the other thing we've done in 99 acres in real estate over the last 1 year.
Thanks a lot, Hitesh. I hope that's addressed all the questions we had, from Mr. Gagan Kumar and some of the others on these businesses. There was another theme that had sort of emerged on demerger. 3-4 of you brought it up. We continue to evaluate those opportunities and try and see. We see there's a lot of value in holding all the businesses together. There's economies of scale in the businesses being housed together, learning from one into the other. So we believe our current structure is serving our shareholder interest best at the moment. But we constantly take your feedback and evaluate and try and see if there could be a better value unlocked with more focus through demerger. but this is the structure that we have as of now. There was a question from on Mr. Bhutani wanting to know what is our policy on the change of statutory auditors. Our policy as of now is that we appoint statutory auditors for terms of 5 years, and we allow 2 consecutive terms after which we change statutory auditors. So we evaluate every 5 years, but we after 10 years we do a mandatory change. Chintan, am I right with that in sharing that?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So with those, with the queries that we have addressed between Hitesh and myself, I think we've answered all your questions. But if they are, and there could be inadvertently questions that may have not been answered, please do email us on investors@naukri.com, and we shall respond to you at the earliest. Also, members posting their queries during the meeting through communication box appearing on their screen, as we've said earlier, will be answered within 15 days. With your permission now, I'd like to move on to the e-voting. Before we proceed, I'd like to inform members that in compliance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and listing regulations, the company has provided the facility to cast the votes electronically between 9 a.m. of 22nd August 2022 till 5 p.m. of the 25th of August 2022 in proportion to the shareholding as of the cutoff date of 19th August 2022 on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who have not cast their votes electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by NSDL. Members can click on e-voting tab on the video conferencing screen to avail this feature. E-voting is active and will be closed after the closure of this meeting. Members may please note that there will be no voting by the show of hands. The company has appointed Mr. Rupesh Agarwal, failing him Mr. Shashikant Tiwari, partners of Messrs. Chandrasekharan, Associate Company Secretaries, New Delhi, as scrutinizer for scrutinizing the e-voting process in a fair and transparent manner. His decision will be final with regard to validity and results of the voting through remote e-voting and e-voting during the meeting. The combined results of the remote e-voting and e-voting at the AGM will be declared after the report of the scrutinizer is received. The results of the e-voting shall be announced after receiving the report from the scrutinizer on or before 29th of August 2022 and shall be placed on the company's website at http://www.infoedge.in and on the website of NSDL, i.e. that is www.evoting.nsdl.com and communicated to BSE Limited and National Stock Exchange of India Limited. The members who have not yet cast their vote through remote e-voting may cast their vote now. The e-voting process will remain open for another 30 minutes from now. The resolutions as set out in the notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to the receipt of requisite number of votes. With this, the 27th Annual General Meeting comes to an end. I would take an opportunity to thank all of you who have supported us during this virtual meeting and participated in the meeting by sparing their valuable time. On behalf of the board of your company, I would like to pledge that we will continue to work to create enhanced value for you in this company. I hereby declare the meeting as closed. Thank you for joining us today. Please stay safe and healthy. And hopefully, as many of you have requested, we'll be able to meet next year in person.